All right, so here's one of these techniques that you learn at some point in your Photoshop career, and you just sit there and say to yourself, man, if I only knew this earlier. All right, and I learned this trick, probably 10 years ago anyways, but I had wished I had learned this thing years earlier than that. All right, and what I need to do is I need to get rid of all the dust and all that junk that's inside this image. And normally when I ask my students, I said, here you go, this is your next project is number one, you have to clean up this image, get rid of all the dust and muck that happens to be in there. Now, this image is of daughter number 3, and she was just a little thing. I had I set her up in a little makeshift studio that I had at the time, and I took some shots. And then, years go by, and I was going through my darkroom, and I found a box of old proofs. And sure enough, I come across this, and I'm looking at this, and I'm saying, wow, look at those. I remember those days. And then I looked at the image, and it had all this dust and stuff embedded into the emulsion of the print. And I'm sitting there going, well, that's too bad. Then I said, wait a minute, I've got a class project for this one. All right, so anyways, here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, all right, how you can actually get rid of 85% of the crap that's in this image in less than 2 minutes. All right, this is absolutely stunning, absolutely amazing, absolutely beautiful. All right, so it's going to be a two-part thing that I'm going to be working on here. So the first thing is I want to show you how the dust and scratches filter works. All right, so I'm just going to move this over here. I'm going to come down, and I'm going to come down to the noise, and I'm going to choose dust and scratches. All right, now dust and scratches has, I guess I could try and reduce noise, but I don't like the way that works all the time. All right, so, and we could experiment later on and find out and all that kind of stuff. We've got something in here called despeckle. All right, and you can see that there are no little dots after that, so whatever is the default for despeckle, there you go. So I'm going to try despeckle, and there you did. It worked. Not really. Undo. And there you go. I'm going to go back and forth, and you can see it got rid of a little bit of stuff, but not much. All right. Maybe I should zoom in to 100% so we can actually see this nonsense a little bit better. And there you go. So I'm going to redo despeckle. Didn't do a whole lot. All right. So not necessarily something I'm looking for in here. And now I'm going to go down to something called median. And in here, I can use the median filter, and this will, all right, get rid of, and if I'm going to put in a value of 1, you can see that we're not, well, are we getting rid of something? Yes, a little bit. Look at the difference, all right? That's just with the number 1 value, and if I increase that to 4, or possibly even take it down to 3. Now, 3 still leaves me some of the junk around here, so I'm going to increase it to 4. And that gets rid of all that stuff, but doesn't do much for the face. So basically what median is doing is it's blurring the image. All right. So what happens if I bring this up a little bit higher? Then we end up with that. What if I bring it up higher, you know what's going to happen. All right. But it's really neat. And I don't know if it's finished doing its thing at this point in time. Well, there you go. Now that's what it's doing. It's kind of honoring the edges. Where we have really sharp, distinct edges, this thing is honoring that 100%. I'm going to put it back down to 4, and I'm going to say that this is only part of where I need to go. All right, so I'm going to cancel out of that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back under here. I'm going to use dust and scratches, because dust and scratches will give me, all right, using the radius, it'll give me a similar end result of what the other filter gives, but now I have something called threshold, and the threshold is going to allow me to bring back the fine detail in the hair. So if I was to bring this up to number 44, just like this, you can see that I got all the fine hair detail back, but I also got a lot of the fine junk back. So now the question is, at what point is something going to be considered acceptable? All right, so I'm just going to bring this down to this and say, okay, we're getting close to some realm of acceptability. And if I come into here, I'm going to say, well, that's possibly getting closer. So I'm going to probably do about 12 or 13. You know what I mean? Just kind of keeping it this way to see where I am and how I can actually live with this stuff. So at this point, the filter's done its job. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to the next level in the next movie.